Welcome for a short midweek devotional thought, usually posted on Wednesdays, covering a variety of issues of the Christian life and sponsored by the people, congregation of the Methodist Church, Littleton, Illinois. It's a Free Methodist affiliate. This past Sunday, as I'm taping this little video, our passage of scripture was from Matthew 27. Maybe I'll leave this on. It's kind of drizzly still and bugs everywhere. Well, in Matthew 27, we looked at the 2 or 3 small paragraphs that Matthew sticks in that Mark, Luke, and John don't stick in about Judas' remorse, throwing the money back that he got for betraying Christ and hanging himself. And we started out talking about betrayal. And that kind of leads me into our discussion today about betrayal. And I have a task for you. Now, the task I have for you today is not a difficult task, but it does take some sobriety, some thoughtfulness, some honesty. And if you are accustomed to just wanting to listen to these videos in the background, may not do you any good. You have to be engaged in this. So here's what I want you to do. I've got a notebook here. Now I want you to do this mentally because it is a very personal, private thing. And it will work just as well, if you do it mentally as if you wrote it down. But I wrote down several nudges, little starters for meditation in this notebook of mine. And what I want you to do is, I'm going to say something. We'll start with Judas, the betrayal theme, and say, I want you to think carefully someone that you once trusted that betrayed you in your life. And what I'd like you to do is, in your mind, jot down the initials of that person. This is very serious, somewhat uncomfortable, might bring up bad memories, but I need your engagement. And I'll say, we're not going to make this public, so you don't have to embarrass yourself or anything like that. And I'm not going to ask you to forgive this person or these persons. And I know that, we should. That's what God calls us to do, is to forgive those that have used us wrongly. But I'm not going to talk about that today. I'm on a different subject. And I'm going to ask you to be honest and not pretend. Sometimes we think, well, if we have forgiven that person, we just put them out of our mind and we'll pretend it didn't happen. So back to the first prompt. Someone you trusted who betrayed you. Now there's more. We know what we're doing now. So here's prompt number 2. The initials, or in your mind, remember someone who has cheated you. I don't know, maybe some kind of a business deal, or maybe in a store, or maybe in some aspect of life or family, but the initials of someone who has cheated you. Then I'm going to just keep going. I'm going a little slowly on purpose so you can think a little bit, and a name might come to mind, or initials. So prompt number 3, someone who lied to you. May not take very long. Somebody, some enemy or something who just did not like you and they harmed you. Maybe at work they picked on you, in school they picked on you, maybe in the family they picked on you, maybe they just were doing stuff to make life hard for you, but someone who harmed you and just made life rough because they didn't like you. Okay, number four. We've got 6 of these, and that's just step 1 of what we're doing today. Okay, number 4. The initials of a gossip who talked behind your back, kind of sullied your reputation or tried to. Some gossip who didn't know what they were talking about, maybe, or maybe they did and they shouldn't have, but they talked behind your back to other people and spread a rumor about you. Okay, number 5. The initials of someone who boycotted you or excluded you or left you out of the group in a way that you might have said, yeah, I don't care, I don't need that anyway, but you still felt a little tinge. And last but not least, someone who humiliated you. This would be something someone did to you in public or in a group of friends that humiliated you. Okay, if you got those, do you need it? If you need time to, just go back over this again, back it up a little bit, go through it again. If you need to stop and think on something, just put a pause in it. And this is step 1. Now we start with step 2. I drew a line on my page. Now I'm starting over again. This is going to take you to be brutally honest with yourself. It's not going to work if you're not, if you're not part of it, if you don't face it. And it may be hard to face and may bring up bad memories. But here are the very same questions again. This time, I got bugs flying all around my head. I'm kind of squishing them away, swishing them. Okay, put down the initials of someone that trusted you and you betrayed them. Write down the initials of someone that you cheated. Write down the initials of someone you have lied to. Now, I'm not wasting much time on these. We just took a little bit of time to start with, and it may take you a while to think of some of these. So, like I said, you can always turn this off in between these and think about it a little bit. Write down the initials of someone you just didn't like very much and that you made life hard for. You bullied them, you just made life rough, you gave them a hard time. Write down the initials of someone that you gossiped about behind their backs in a way that diminished their reputation, or could have, or would have hurt them if they'd found out about it. Or maybe they did find out about it. Write down the initials of someone that you boycotted or you excluded or you didn't want to be part of the group, or maybe they were too loud, or maybe they were too quiet, or maybe they came up with, funny ideas, or somehow or the other you didn't think they fit in, so you excluded them. And finally, write down the initials of someone that you humiliated in front of other people. That's step 2. We're about to go to step 3. And if you need a little time on this, take your time. Then turn me back on, and we'll get to step 3 together. This takes a little bit of reflection. What I'm going to ask you to do is take step one, the initials of people that have, in some way, been kind of unkind to you, and compare that with step two, the number of people that you've been unkind to in the exact same way. And then I'm going to ask you honestly, do you hold them both, but step one and step two, to the very same standard? Or do you say, no, this one was just a bad person, or this person did this, or this person did this, and when you look at you, you say, oh, that was a long time ago. I don't do that anymore. Or I was just a teenager back then when this happened. Or I felt pressured against a wall. I know I shouldn't have done it, but I felt trapped. Or I know that was a time that God grew me, and I learned from that experience not to do that anymore. Is that you talking to yourself? Is that the same easy out that you gave the other people? Or do you think lowly of them and find an excuse for you? Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because our scripture for today in this devotion is from Proverbs chapter 16, verse 2. Let me get my pocket out. Oh, by the way, if I look a little dorky, that's to stop ticks. Tuck your pant cuffs in and wear white. Okay. Doesn't seem to be stopping gnats, though. They're everywhere. Okay, here I am. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 2, and I just want the first half of that sentence. Okay, so the first half of that sentence goes like this. And that's what's started all this thought for the day. And it's a good reflection for us. It's good for me, it's good for you. It says, all the ways of a man are clean in his own sight. Now, the second part of it is this. You may not like to hear this so much, but the second part of that we need to get to simply says, but the Lord weighs the motives. That is, the same measuring stick we give you, we give them. And quite often, that doesn't mean that we're bad and that God hasn't forgiven us. Quite often, it just means that they are also growing like we are, and the Lord knows that. So you know what the Lord wants? Well, I got to stop now because I promised I would say, don't give them the benefit of the doubt, or don't, or forgive them, or yes, I wouldn't say that. So I'm not going to say that. So I'm going to stop up there right on the edge. Cheated you. And all the ways of a man, you and me, are clean in his own sight, but the Lord weighs our motives.